Who's your emergency contact? Who should be notified in case of death? Welcome to the USP, where I've spent the last 2+ decades of my life. I'm in Atwater. And coming from Beaumont, being locked down all the time for every little thing, it was a little relief and a fresh air to be in Atwater. Atwater, you just pop the doors open and you're able to move around, go whatever unit you want to go to. Not legally, but none of the CEOs over there was tripping. You know, they still have your 10-minute moves or whatever between the hours, but you're pretty much able to stay out in the yard most of the day. So that's all I do. I get up every morning, go do my routine. You know, I get my workout in, whether it's that playing basketball or playing handball or doing your burpees. You know, we always stay in shape. And staying in shape, I mean, it's healthy for you, which is a plus. But people that work out in the penitentiary, their health and getting cut up and looking buff isn't the priority. The priority is to always have yourself ready, because you already know you live in a hostile environment. So you work out, you keep your body moving just in case something pops off that you didn't get the shit end of the stick because you ran out of breath and you were out of shape. So that's part of the reason why I work out and a lot of other people in the penitentiary works out. Like if you're a Sereno, every Monday when they call the yard, every single Sereno is on the yard doing burpees. And every Friday and Monday, they get an hour in. The whole yard, if you're a Sereno, you know. But every group, every car has some way structure a mandatory workout within their organization, because they understand being prepared, being healthy, being active is vital to your survival. Even though I've been sharing stories with you how crazy and violent the penitentiary is, which it is. You know, there's so many other stuff that I haven't been able to share with you because I don't really know exactly what's going on in those stories. But shit pop up every single week, if not every day. You know, and it's no different here in Atwater. Like I said, I get up every morning, 6 o'clock. I don't take no naps. When the doors crack, I'm up and I'm moving around. And when I got to Atwater, one of the dudes I got real close with was a Samoan dude from Alaska named Pui. You know, me and him became really tight. So that was my road dog. We did everything together. And on this particular morning, I'm coming out of my cell, and Leighton, the Guamanian, he's from his name is Leighton Bora. He used to fight MMA back on his island, but he's pretty famous. You know, even when he was there, they still write articles about him. He was serving 13 years for beating up a off-duty cop at a bar. Like, he didn't know the guy was an off-duty cop, but the guy was running his mouth, so Leighton pieced him up. But his hand is certified, so he got charged for assault on a peace officer with a dangerous weapon. And they gave him 13 years for that. Like, and he was just like at the peak of his career, you know. So anyway, we have all the corner cells in the corner in 2A upstairs. I come out the cell and he's like, "Hey, what's up, bro?" I said, "What's up, homie?" I said, "Man, what are we doing today?" I said, "Shit, you know what we do? Me and Pooh gonna go find something to drink." "Oh, hey, I was gonna tell you, the homie said come over." I said, "Which homie? Come over where?" He goes, "Yeah, the homie James and Joe said come over there to their unit. They just came down." Coming down means, you know, you just brought a batch down. You know, your wine is done cooking. They brought it down, or you cook it and make it to moonshine. So they got a bunch of drinks over there in 6A. Now, I like to drink, just like the next guy. But through the course of my bid, I've never been in any confrontation while I was intoxicated or drunk. And the reason why I was able to do that is because I'm real particular who I drink with. Now, no disrespect to none of the Native American homies that I have, that I've met, that are good people, but I don't drink with Native Americans, homie. Every time they get drunk, somebody always gets butchered. And I'd be damned if it's gonna be me just because I want to get drunk, you know. But we can kick it, we can smoke weed, we can do other things. We're just not gonna drink alcohol with my Native American friends, you know. And they know that. I tell them to their face when they come and try to, hey, Mason, let's go drink. I say, man, you know I'm not drinking with none of you motherfuckers. Anyway, so he's like, yeah, James and Joe said to come down and drink with them. And James and Joe, they're in the unit, they're in 6A with my homie Bryson P.O.Z., with my homie Brian Chan, Green Dragon. Much love, Brian. He just got released out of INS a few days ago. He did over 32 years. And I'm so happy that he's made it home. But so I'm like, who? He said, James and Joe. Now, James and Joe are Guamanian. Joe's already been in Atwater. James just came the night before. And the reason he came over there, because the Asians and Islanders just got in a riot in Coleman with the white boys, which I'll elaborate on that story as we go on. So James, him and Tigo is burnt out, schizophrenic, paranoid Vietnamese dude. But his dude got hands, you know. He knows that martial arts stuff. Like when he first came on the yard the night before, he's telling us, hey man, there's a couple of DC dudes that are here that I got into it within the control unit. The control unit was Marion back then. Like I said, they closed Marion down. So everybody's on the yard now, on the compound. But when Tigo got transferred from Coleman to Atwater, two of the DC dudes that he had gotten to it with Marion was there on the yard. You know, they end up stabbing each other or whatever on the yard. So he's like, man, let me go holler at this dude. Now, one thing about the DC people, like whatever reputation they have or whatever, at the end of the day, they're men. And they respect gangster. And if they got into a confrontation with you, whether they win or lose, if you in that thing and you funking with them or whatever, they're going to respect that. Because we understand that shit's not always going to be pretty in there. That sometimes it's going to be lines crossed. But it's how you deal with the situation when it arises determines how they respect you. Well, Tigo went and hollered them two dudes. And they're like, nah, we're good, homie. They shook hand, hugged, and that was that. So the next morning, like I said, I'm getting up, ready to start out my day. I'm going to find me something to drink. You know, because that's all we end up, our routine end up being just all the homies from around the pit, the yard, somehow end up congregating in my block and partying, right? So lady's like, yeah, Jamie Joe said, let's go drink with them. I said, nah, you go ahead. I'm going to go, me and Pooey's going to go do our own thing. And lady's like, why? What's up? I said, listen, now James, he was part of the case where they killed that dude in Florence, where I told you in the prior episode where they strung the guy intestines all over the cell where they killed the Mexican dude. Yeah, his cousin is Rudy Sablan. But I've known about him, and I know people like him. I'm not trying to disparage his character or anything like that, but there's people that in there that when they get drunk, you know, they have so much built up anger and hate and animosity that sometimes the wine lets those emotions out. And I also know that these people, these two individuals are serious individuals. And I also know that even though we've already sat down and talked about my incident in Victorville with me stabbing one of their Guamanian homies, I know that's still under the surface, that, you know, because the only reason we're not bumping heads over there because I was in the right. But regardless, if I'm in the right or in the wrong, that's still their fellow Guamanian and friend and whatever. And I'm just not trying to put myself in a predicament where I gotta hurt somebody. Because I know if I sit there and I drink with them and they start looking at me crazy for whatever reason, and I start looking at them crazy for whatever reason, I know these two dudes gonna go. I know James gonna go. These guys are killers. They're not, I don't take anything away from them. So if I know that they're killers, I'm not gonna wait for them to kill me. So if we're drinking and kicking it and there's something happens and we're exchanging looks, I'm always gonna be the aggressor. Because, you know, when you have to play defense, a lot of that, when it comes to that, it's already too late. You're already getting butchered. So, but why even get yourself in that predicament? So anyway, I said, nah, I'm cool. I'm going to go, me and Pooey's going to just go do our own thing. And Lane's like, what? Why? What's up? So I explained to him what I just explained to you now. And I was like, but you go ahead. You can go kick it. He's like, oh, no. I'm kicking with you. He said, we're going to drink with you. So that's what we did. We went and found a batch, you know, around 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. We sat up in the corner, put the 2 chairs up where people couldn't come through. We had a couple of homies that came from another block, but it was me, me and Pooey, J-Boy, Layton. You know, Billy's up there. He comes in and out. He runs a poker table on the yard, so he comes in and out of the move. But we got bottles under our bunk, and we're just kicking it. And we drink all the way till like 3:30, 4 o'clock. The guard comes up, locked out. You know, we get locked down at 3:30, 4 o'clock every single day anyway for count. So they come, hey, lockdown. So over there, the CO was cool. They don't care who's in what cell as long as the head count comes out right. So if you got 120 dudes in the unit, they just want to be able to count out 120 bodies. So Pooey, he lived downstairs. I had him locking in my cell during count so we can finish drinking the rest of our bottle. And J-Boy locked in with Layton. So we're not, you know, so we got a couple people that, you know, just locked down with us in our cell. And the CO wasn't tripping. And we kick back and we drink because we know the door's going to open about 4:30. Well, 4:30 comes around and the door doesn't open. So 5 o'clock comes around. You know, they're supposed to be starting calling dinner, chow, at 5 o'clock. Well, our door still ain't open. So about 5:30, 6 o'clock, when the CO makes the round, I knock on the door. I say, hey, CO, what's up, man? We coming out? And he just looks at me. He's not giving anything away. He was just like, nah, you guys ain't coming out. I'm like, well, my homeboy don't live in here. He lives downstairs. So the CO went around the unit and started putting people back in their cells, in the right cell. And there was like, the Mexicans had people locked down in their cell, kicking it. Everybody was just kicking it. So he went down and like put like 5, 6 dudes back in their regular cell. So whatever, we don't hear nothing. Because, you know, at 3 o'clock, at 3:30, we locked down anyway. So whatever happened, it was right there at that time. And so it was just like normal. Well, the next morning, it's about 6, 7 o'clock. I get up. I hear somebody hollering for me, Mesa, Mesa, Mesa. So I get up. I'm like, man, what the fuck? You know, I look out the window and it's Layton across the hall, across the tier from me. Because I told you he's like in 17 or 18 and we just bend the corner. I'm at 20. And he's like, NPR, listen to NPR. Because he was up in the morning listening to NPR. And he's like, you were right. You were right. I'm like, man, what the fuck you talking about? He goes, man, James and Joe. What? I said, what? He said, James and Joe. I said, what? They killed the police. We were just about to drink with them the day before. Go over there in the block to go drink with them. But like I said, I have spider senses. I know people that I'm going to drink with, that I'm going to hang out with, that I'm going to get high with, or whatever. I don't mingle with everybody and anybody. So I guess what had happened was they were over there drinking. And 6A, to my main dude, James and Joe, he just came from the bus before. Now, they were in Coleman before they got here because of something that happened over there in Coleman. It was over a debt, a bill. And, Yano, the guy stabbed up in Victorville, him and another Hawaiian dude, was the one funking with the white boys. But they all went out there and had a conversation, and they squashed the beef. So when everybody went back to their unit, Yano and this Hawaiian dude took it upon themselves to hit this white boy anyway. So they went and hit this other white boy over whatever issue they had. And when they hit the white boy, that's a violation, because when you shake somebody's hand and you agree to something, everybody's supposed to be able to respect it and believe it. So when they did that, all the other homies had no choice. They turned around and all the Asian and the white boy funked and got into it. And they got locked up in the shoe. And when they got locked up in the shoe, when they came and got Tigo and James in particular, they kind of fucked him up. They kind of roughed him up. So they threw him in the cell, in the shoe. But usually when you get locked down and the situation is mediated or whatever, they let most of the people back out. But when James was in the shoe, he had told him, because of the way they treated him, how they handled him when they took him to the shoe, he told him, man, the first chance I get, I'm going to kill one of you motherfuckers. So the staff at Coleman were scared because, these people have life sentences. They have all day long. They have nothing to lose. And, their jacket, their record, they've already have, a history of violence. So the staff at Coleman, they didn't want him back on that yard. So they shipped him to Atwater. Certain people, when you hear them say certain things about what they want to do to somebody, you're going to have to take that as, you have to stamp that. You're going to have to believe that, because a lot of people, we have things called cell soldiers. People's in a cell woofing, talking shit. But there's some individuals that if they tell you they're going to murk you, if they tell you they're going to do something to you, or they're going to do something, shit, you got to believe it, because those are the kind of people that do what they say. But the staff at Coleman believed him, so they shipped him out and sent him to Atwater. He was in Atwater for one day, But this is going to be like a part 2 series. I don't want to hold you guys too long, so stay tuned, and I'll continue the story on the next episode. Welcome to the USP.